April 14th, 1912. The North Atlantic was unusually calm. The sea looked like polished glass, reflecting thousands of stars across the dark horizon. There were no towering waves, no howling winds, and no sign that one of history's greatest disasters was only moments away. Aboard the RMS Titanic, more than 2,200 passengers and crew carried on with their evening. Some danced to live music in the luxurious first-class lounge. Others laughed over late-night conversations in elegant dining rooms illuminated by crystal chandeliers. Deep below deck, engineers worked tirelessly to keep the ship's massive engines running as it sped westward toward New York. Many believed they were sailing aboard the safest ship ever built. The newspapers had praised it as a masterpiece of modern engineering. Its owners promoted it as the pinnacle of luxury and innovation. Around the world, people admired it as a symbol of human progress, a floating palace designed to conquer the Atlantic Ocean. It was called the RMS Titanic. Stretching nearly 882 feet in length and towering over the docks where it was built, the Titanic was unlike anything the world had ever seen. It represented wealth, ambition, and confidence in an era when technology seemed capable of overcoming any challenge. But confidence can become dangerous when it turns into certainty. Just before midnight, lookouts scanning the dark horizon noticed something directly ahead: an iceberg. They rang the warning bell 3 times. A telephone call rushed to the bridge. "Iceberg, right ahead!" Within minutes, the greatest passenger ship ever constructed had suffered a fatal wound. Less than 3 hours later, it would disappear beneath the freezing Atlantic Ocean. More than 1,500 people would lose their lives. Over a century later, the sinking of the Titanic continues to fascinate historians, engineers, filmmakers, and millions of people around the world. It was not simply a shipwreck. It was a story of extraordinary ambition, heartbreaking sacrifice, acts of remarkable courage, and a series of decisions that continue to be debated to this day. How could the world's most advanced ocean liner sink on its very first voyage? Were warning signs ignored? Could more lives have been saved? And what truly happened during those final terrifying hours? Tonight we journey back to 1912 to uncover the real story of the Titanic. From the dream that inspired its construction to the unforgettable night it met its tragic end. The birth of a giant. At the dawn of the 20th century, the world was changing faster than ever before. Factories transformed cities, railroads connected nations, electricity illuminated homes that had once relied on candlelight. Every year seemed to bring another technological breakthrough. Across the Atlantic Ocean, shipping companies competed fiercely to transport passengers between Europe and North America. Millions of immigrants dreamed of starting new lives in the United States. Wealthy travelers demanded luxury unlike anything available on land. Businessmen wanted faster crossings to expand international trade. One company intended to dominate them all: the White Star Line. Unlike its competitors, who focused primarily on speed, White Star believed travelers would choose comfort, elegance, and reliability over simply arriving first. To achieve that vision, the company announced an ambitious project: 3 enormous sister ships, Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic. Together, they would become the largest passenger liners ever built. Constructing vessels of such size required extraordinary engineering. The task fell to Harland and Wolff, a renowned shipbuilding company based in Belfast, Ireland. Thousands of skilled workers dedicated years of their lives to the project. Steelworkers riveted massive iron plates together by hand. Carpenters crafted luxurious interiors using fine oak and mahogany. Electricians installed thousands of lights throughout the ship. Engineers assembled gigantic steam engines powerful enough to propel a floating city across the Atlantic. Every day, more than 15,000 men worked on the Titanic. The scale of the project amazed even experienced shipbuilders. Standing beside its enormous hull, workers often appeared no larger than tiny dots against a mountain of steel. By the time construction neared completion, the Titanic had become one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements. It weighed over 46,000 tons. Its engines generated incredible power. Its towering smokestacks could be seen from miles away. Its grand staircase rivaled those found in Europe's finest hotels. It featured electric elevators, a heated swimming pool, Turkish baths, squash courts, luxurious restaurants, reading rooms, cafes, smoking lounges, and lavish suites reserved for some of the richest people on Earth. Even third-class passengers enjoyed accommodations considered superior to first class on many other ships of the era. Everything about the Titanic was designed to inspire awe. Its builders incorporated advanced safety features that were revolutionary for the time. The ship contained 16 watertight compartments separated by heavy steel bulkheads. If part of the hull was damaged, these compartments were intended to prevent flooding from spreading throughout the vessel. This innovative design gave many people tremendous confidence in the ship's safety. Although the phrase "unsinkable" was used more by newspapers and the public than as an official company claim, that reputation quickly took hold. People began to believe the Titanic was practically invincible. It was a belief that would soon be put to the ultimate test. By the spring of 1912, the Titanic was finally ready. After years of planning, construction and testing, the world's largest passenger ship prepared for its very first journey across the Atlantic. Excitement spread throughout Europe. Newspapers described the voyage as the beginning of a new era in ocean travel. Tickets sold quickly, especially among the wealthy, who wanted to experience the unmatched luxury of the new liner. On the morning of April 10th, 1912, thousands gathered at the docks in Southampton, England. Families hugged loved ones goodbye. Dock workers rushed to load the last trunks, crates and sacks of mail. Steam poured from the ship's funnels as the engines slowly came to life. Standing proudly above the harbour, the Titanic looked less like a ship and more like a floating city. At exactly noon, the ropes were released. The Titanic began to move. A loud cheer rose from the crowd as the massive vessel slowly pulled away from the dock. Bands played music while passengers waved handkerchiefs from the decks. No one watching that afternoon could have imagined that most of them would never see the ship again. A close call before the journey had even begun. As the Titanic eased out of Southampton Harbour, something unexpected happened. The enormous displacement of water created by the ship's movement caused a nearby vessel, the SS New York, to break free from its moorings. The smaller ship drifted dangerously toward the Titanic. For a tense few minutes, it appeared that the maiden voyage might end before it had truly begun. Captain Edward Smith immediately ordered the engines reversed, while tugboats rushed to push the drifting vessel away. The two ships missed each other by only a few feet. Many passengers laughed nervously once the danger had passed. Some later remembered it as a strange omen. At the time, however, everyone simply considered it an unfortunate accident. The voyage continued. Captain Edward Smith. Commanding the Titanic was one of Britain's most respected sea captains. Captain Edward John Smith had spent more than 40 years at sea. Known for his calm personality and steady leadership, he had successfully commanded many of White Star Line's finest ships. This voyage was expected to be his last before retirement. Passengers admired him, the crew trusted him, the company believed there was no one better suited to command their newest masterpiece. Few realized that history would forever link his name with one of the greatest maritime disasters ever recorded. A ship filled with every walk of life. The Titanic was carrying around 2,200 people, including passengers and crew. What made the ship remarkable was not only its size, but also the incredible variety of people on board. There were millionaires worth fortunes beyond imagination. There were immigrants carrying little more than hope for a better future. There were businessmen, musicians, engineers, servants, teachers, doctors, children, and entire families. Each had their own dreams waiting on the other side of the Atlantic. First class. The first-class section was unlike anything ever built at sea. Passengers walked through magnificent hallways decorated with polished wood, marble fireplaces, elegant chandeliers, and priceless artwork. The grand staircase became the centerpiece of the ship. Its sweeping oak railings and glass dome impressed everyone who saw it. Guests dined on elaborate multi-course meals prepared by world-class chefs. They relaxed in luxurious lounges, enjoyed afternoon tea, visited the ship's gymnasium, or took leisurely walks along the spacious promenade decks. Among the famous passengers were John Jacob Astor IV, one of the richest men in the world, Benjamin Guggenheim, a wealthy businessman, and Margaret Molly Brown, who would later become known for her courage during the disaster. For them, the Titanic represented the height of luxury. Second-class accommodations were considered exceptional. Teachers, professors, ministers, and middle-class families enjoyed comfortable cabins, elegant dining rooms, libraries, and pleasant public spaces. Many later said they had never expected such comfort aboard a ship. Third class. Perhaps the most inspiring stories belong to those traveling in third class. Many were immigrants from Ireland, Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East. They dreamed of starting new lives in America. Some hoped to reunite with relatives who had already settled there. Others sought jobs, freedom, or simply the chance to escape poverty. Although third-class accommodations were modest compared to first class, they were far cleaner and more comfortable than those found on many ships of the time. Children laughed as they explored the corridors. Families sang songs together in the evenings. For them, the Titanic represented hope. Life on board. As the days passed, life settled into a peaceful routine. Every morning, passengers awoke to breathtaking views of the open Atlantic. Breakfast was served in elegant dining rooms. Some spent their afternoons reading books beneath the warm spring sunshine. Others played cards, exercised in the gymnasium, or enjoyed conversations with fellow travelers. Children raced across the decks while musicians entertained guests each evening. Below deck, however, another world existed. Hundreds of crew members worked around the clock. Engineers shoveled tons of coal into enormous furnaces. Stewards cleaned cabins. Cooks prepared thousands of meals every day. Mail clerks sorted bags of letters destined for America. The Titanic never truly slept. It was a city that remained in constant motion,